Hey guys, how are you? My name is Mike Zagari. I am the creator of PPC Entourage. And over the last 3 to 4 years, we've worked with thousands of Amazon sellers and we've worked with millions of dollars in ad spend. And I want to share with you the top 10 tips that we feel can really help improve your sponsored ad performance. So I'm going to save the very best tip for last. So make sure you stay till the end of this video. And why don't we get started? So the very first tip is to make sure you understand what your TRUE ACoS is. Now, many sellers log into their Seller Central account. They look at their numbers. Their ACoS might be higher than what they want, but they're not looking at their TRUE ACoS, which takes into account your PPC revenue and your organic revenue. So it's a more true telling figure that really gives you a good understanding as to how your ad spend is impacting your overall business. So take a look at my screen here. You could see that my total ad spend margin impact, which is my TRUE ACoS, is 7.38%. That's because those ad dollars are being put to work and they're helping me get organic visibility. And I'm getting a lot of sales on the organic side. So knowing this number helps you to see how much your ad spend is working for you. And also if it's too high, that means it's eating away at your profit margins, and that's not a good thing. So we want this to be between 6 and 12% of your TRUE ACoS. All right, guys, the second thing is that auto campaigns are an absolute must for data collection. So a lot of sellers start off with an auto campaign, they leave it running for a couple of weeks, they mine that auto campaign for a little bit, and then they turn it off. But we feel that auto campaigns are an absolute gold mine because it's allowing Amazon to place our products in front of different search queries so we can learn more about our customer. We can then mine those search queries and then bid on those search queries and then start to build out our keyword list base so we could target more keywords that are relevant to our product. Also, it helps us to find ASINs that are relevant so we could do product targeting campaigns and target those particular competitors where we are making profitable sales. So we highly recommend keeping that automatic campaign on, optimizing that automatic campaign with bid optimization and also negative phrase matching to make a negative exact matching to make sure that we're not overspending on that automatic campaign. So key point here is to keep that automatic campaign on, optimize for it, and harvest those keywords, those search terms, those ASINs to use in later campaigns. All right, the next tip. Use your search term report for search term analysis and keyword research. Guys, the search term report is an absolute gold mine of intelligent information. I can't tell you how many sellers I get on a call with and I say, hey, have you looked into your search term report to see which search terms are connecting profitably and are creating sales? And a lot of sellers don't really know the power behind the search term report. Also in the search term report, think of it as like getting into the shopper's mind and knowing exactly what they're shopping for, what they're typing in to find your product. But you could also find other product ideas. So it's an absolute gold mine for product research. And if you don't know how to find the search term report, simply go onto your Amazon Seller Central account, go to your advertising reports, and it's going to be the very first report. Make sure you get into the habit of downloading those search term reports monthly and saving those search term reports because they are absolute gold mines. All right, so the next one is to test category targeting and take advantage of the refine option. Now, what is category targeting? If you could see my screen right here, I'm actually inside of a manual campaign and I'm selling dog mats, feeding mats. And the category that I'm targeting is the actual main category, which means that my product, my listing is going to show up on competitors' listings in this category. But what you want to do is start to use the refine option, because rather than just going after the entire category, we want to go after the products where we have some kind of an advantage. Now, we have another video where we go over 10 different ad groups that you could potentially set up where you may have an advantage. But what do I mean by advantage? You could have a price advantage. If your product is less expensive than your competitors, you can target the ones that are more expensive so that people could potentially click on your listing and make the sale. What about targeting competitors that have a really low review star rating? So you could target the competitors that have a 0 to 3 star review rating, or even another ad group that has a 3 to 4 star group ad star rating. And this way you're targeting competitors that are just not doing as good as you are with review stars. So another way to do it is you could set up an ad group that are targeting competitors that are not Prime eligible. As you know, shoppers look for Prime eligibility as a main reason to use Amazon, and you want to target those competitors that don't have that set up. Another way to get an advantage over your competition. All right, guys. So number 5 is use product targeting and use the ASINs that are working and then go for it. So now what is product targeting? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go over here and look at the individual products that Amazon allows us to use and target our competitors so that our ads show up on their listing and we could potentially steal sales. Now, this could be invaluable for those, especially if you have a consumable where people are going to come back over and over and over again. You may want to get that sale even at a higher ACoS. But what we can do is we can dig into the search term report from our automatic campaigns, from the campaign that I just showed you with the campaign targeting campaigns. We can harvest the ASINs, which ASINs, if you don't know what they are actually the listings of our competitors. We can harvest those ASINs and we can target those ASINs and aggressively go after them to take more sales from our competition. This could have a great effect on not only making profit, but we could also start to get some valuable real estate on their listing, meaning we could actually show up organically on their listing under the customers also shopped for or compare this item to section, which is totally great because then we don't have to pay for it. So what I'm saying here is harvest the search term report, grab those ASINs, and go after your competitors by bidding on those ASINs in product targeting campaigns. All right, guys, the next is going to be run sponsored brand ads in tangent with your sponsored product ads. So what are sponsored brand ads? This is actually a product page. I'm going to go over here to the top of the search results, and you're going to see that this is a sponsored brand ad. Now, you have to be brand registered in order to apply and get these ads going, but they are great to run in conjunction with your sponsored product ads. So these are the sponsored brand ads, sponsored product ads. We highly recommend digging into your search term report, finding the search terms, and then leveraging those search terms in the actual headline right over here to make sure that you have a great connection between what shoppers are actually thinking and what you're actually bidding on to get your ad up in front of those shoppers. But we have found over and over and over again that by having this ad up here and getting that top visibility, then having the sponsored product ad, and then having the organic visibility, that's like the triple whammy effect, where essentially we're smothering our competition. We're making sure that we take up more Amazon real estate, and that is always a good thing, so long that you have a good ad at the very top and that you're optimized and using the right, most relevant keywords. All right, guys, so the next thing we're going to go over is make sure you target your own brand name. This is tip number 7. Make sure you target your own brand name. A lot of sellers say, is it worth it to target my own brand name because people are going to find me anyway and they're going to click on it and I won't have to pay for it? Well, guess what? Not everyone is going to do that. And a lot of shoppers are going to shop for your brand's name and then find a comparable item if you're not putting your ad up there, and they may purchase your competitor's item over yours, and you could lose a potential customer potentially for life. So we have found that by targeting our own brand name with sponsored brand ads and also sponsored product ads, you can get a really low ACoS. You can make sure that you protect your brand from your competitors stealing your sales, and it's a great way to go about maintaining that relationship with your customers and make sure they stay around for a long period of time because these people are looking for you. Want to make sure we serve that ad to them right at the very top. Okay, guys. So the other thing is tip number 8, make sure that your sponsored brand ads are targeted to the correct audience and keywords. Now, we alluded to this a little bit, but why don't I clarify this tip a little bit more? So if you're looking at this ad right over here, you see that we have sponsored by this brand name, explore bristle-free grill brushes and barbecue cleaners. Now, I typed in grill brush, and the word grill brush is inside of the headline, and they're showing me grill brush. They're showing me a scraper. They're showing me a couple different things. We want to make sure that this main image is highly targeted to the actual keyword that we're targeting, and as well as the main headline. So we craft a headline that has the main keyword in it, but it's all synchronized and it's highly related to what people are shopping for. We recommend digging into your search term report, finding those opportunities, finding the search terms, and then putting and making campaigns that have those search terms in the headlines, connecting it with a great image that really speaks to that particular search term, and then using the most relevant products, and then driving traffic to those product listing pages to get more sales. So tip number 9 is to always be optimizing. I can't tell you the amount of sellers that go and they wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks without doing any kind of bid optimizations. They go back and their ACoS is super high and they're wondering what's going on. Amazon is not going to optimize for you. So the set and forget it method simply does not work anymore. Maybe it worked back in the day, but it doesn't work anymore. So the first way to optimize is called bid optimization, and we highly recommend getting a strategy in place for bid optimization. One strategy that works really well is using what we call the max bid. So the max bid looks at the profit margins, and then it looks at the number of clicks it takes to get a sale for that keyword. And then it divides that number of clicks into the actual profit margins to determine what your actual bid price should be. So we then take that bid price, we add a little bit to it, like maybe 10 or 15%, just to give a little bit of buffer. And that's our actual max bid price because we know that it takes X amount of clicks to get a sale for that keyword. All right, guys. So there's other ways to optimize based on bid price, but that's one way that we think works really well. Also, utilizing a healthy amount of negatives in the negative exact match or negative phrase match is a way to tell Amazon what to show your ad, when to show your ad, and when not to show your ad. So for an example, if you use a negative phrase match, if you use a single word, that means that word, if put in as a negative phrase match, if the shopper uses that word in any of their searches, you're not going to get visibility for that ad. So if you know that ad does not connect well to your product and you want to negate that out, you can do so, but make sure you choose those words wisely and make sure you know the difference between negative exact and negative phrase and utilize them to your advantage to show your ads to shoppers that convert, not shoppers that are just browsing or wasting your money. All right, guys. So the final tip number 10, is to always be split testing your listing. So driving traffic is just one piece of the puzzle. But do you have a good listing? Do you have a solid product that's differentiated from your competition? Are you working on improving the conversions of that listing? So I've heard this a couple times now, but conversion optimization doesn't end because unless you're at 100%, you really haven't gotten to the highest level it could be. There's always a way to improve your conversions. And if you can improve your conversions, you can improve your PPC performance. So whether that be split testing your headline, your main images, your bullet points, putting some kind of other feature into your listing like a video, all of these things can add up to improved PPC performance, improved ad efficiency, and everything across the board. So our final tip is to always be split testing your listing, always be making improvements.